Hi Virgo, welcome to your October 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So let me introduce you to my new tarot deck, which is called Ethereal Visions. I kind of figured out that this might have a Victorian type of an artistic influence because it's supposed to be Art Nouveau. And when I looked up the era, it was, I think they said the biggest from, or the most popular from 1890 to 1910 are active. So we're talking about like a 20-year span, which just so happens to dovetail with that era. And so, you know, the delicacy, the femininity of the lines does suggest this, because I think of Victorian everything as very feminine. And like Victorian houses, you know, the intricacy, the details. Although these lines are quite clean. So this is the back of the cards. It's just beautiful, and I have been enjoying them. So I'm going to kind of do this. The Three of Wands has been reappearing over and over again with these readings. So it's probably a theme with the collective of the idea of expansion. This is a 3 universal year though, too. So that makes sense as a general theme. The heart of the matter is the Five of Wands. This is a card sometimes of a lot of competition in some arena. Usually I would say work, you know. The wands relate to fire energy, and fire energy is very competitive and very sometimes combative and ego driven and what was the other word? Ambitious. That was the word I was looking for. So I mean, in the workplace you might be in a type of environment that is very unpleasant in that way. Virgo is a sign that is hardworking but not necessarily ambitious. Would you agree with me or not on that? And what I mean by that is that Virgo is concerned with details. I have a moon in Virgo, and I really resonate with that idea of not really so much about ambition, but about living, actually about simplicity. And I think that it's fair to say that if you have grandiose, you know, dreams or goals, that will probably complicate your life. And I think a lot of Virgo people, they just want to have, you know, life be very straightforward. They don't want a lot of excuse me, elaborate, you know, things that they have to do. They, you know, the sixth house that Virgo rules is all about efficiency and organization and just being why can't I think, you know, just being very productive, constructive, and sometimes the ego just keeps thinking up new things to do to feel self-important, okay? Perhaps you're stuck in this environment and you're not like that. You didn't expect it. That wasn't something that you signed up for. And you could be like supremely unhappy that you're in that in that environment, that dog-eat-dog environment. And this could also be conflict within a relationship, because in the past position here, we have the Four of Wands, which is the happy home. So your home life may be affected by this combative situation. And even, you know, whether it's with other employees. Yeah, and that's the other thing. The 6th house represents the workplace. So you know, what you represent is that kind of environment. But not all work environments are positive. Some of them are quite toxic. And that you could bring that home with you, that kind of animosity or whatever it is that is creating that. I would say it's more like just clashing egos more than anything else. But this could be what your home life is like. That at first it was good and now it's like this. Because the Four of Wands, there's kind of, to me, like this idyllic type of, you know, atmosphere. And then it turns sour and turns combative. The higher message is the Two of Swords. So this is a card of having to make a decision. You see how she's blindfolded. So the person who has to make a decision may not really want to face the true facts of this decision. An example would be if you are in a marriage and it has turned into a lot of bickering or just a lot of conflict. You may not want to really deal with the fact that you have to leave because it makes you feel sad to think that this person that you felt you were going to be with forever, that you can't be with this person, that they are impossible to deal with. And they may pick a fight with you. Again, energy vampires, narcissists, looking for supply, looking for ways to make other people feel bad because they feed off of negativity. That's what the Five of Wands represents to me sometimes, where they're picking fights. They're picking fights to, you know, that's one of the worst things. Picking fights so that the other person is feeling bad, and then that makes them feel better. You know, how sick is that? But that does happen. And you have to decide how much longer you're going to put up with this. What crosses you is the Queen of Wands. So you may have kind of lost your nerve. You don't have the confidence. I really caught a lot of flack when I said that I said something about Virgos being shrinking violets and and things like that, and people really reacted negatively to that. But I do think that Virgos, like Pisces, the opposite sign, do have a tendency to take a lot of crap from people. And they do so because they want to be of service. It's not because you're pathetic, you know. It's because you want to help. And unfortunately, people who are helpers attract people who are takers. People who are, you know, who feel, you know, people who are takers, they feel empty inside. And they don't feel like they have what they need to kind of sustain themselves. And that's why they're looking outside of themselves. And so understanding this tendency with these people is so important, because they will make it so that you start to doubt yourself when you try to break free from them. And that could be it too. Like they have kind of done a number on you so that you're starting to question yourself, second guess yourself. Queen of Wands also could be, this could even involve other people because it's 5. So it could be other people. So you might be fighting your partner's whole family, including the dreaded mother-in-law. Queens can be mothers. Maybe this woman is like a diva from hell, where she's just completely like, she has to be the center of attention. And so she might be triangulating and creating a lot of fighting among her, the siblings. And let's say you're a woman, it's his family, and just completely trying to get you in this place where you're the one that everybody's turning against, where they don't accept you into the family even. So if you have any person who's this destructive, same with a female, I'm not picking on women, but a female boss, because the court cards, I do like to go by gender just to make it more specific and also to tune into that kind of energy. And so that person may be allowing, or maybe even like feeding that toxic competition by her actions. What's coming in, or the advice, is the 7 of Pentacles. You're going to be doing some reflection on how much you've put into this situation. Pentacles obviously have a very practical connotation. So they're looking at things from, sometimes dollars and cents. Like I have worked here for a year, and, the pay is really good. And honestly, I can handle these people. I don't care. I'm going to just like go in and keep to myself, and I'm going to just like, rake in the money I'm going to do this for 6 months. Like you might be in your head kind of strategizing what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. In some cases, if this is a marriage, and maybe a recent marriage where it has turned sour very quickly, you might say, look, I have put in the effort and I'm not getting back the return. So I want to get out of here before I just devote more energy, because the Pentacles to me ultimately is energy, whether it's in the form of money or your love, work, the sweat of your brow, whatever it is. And I'm not going to like waste another 3 years on this, because it's not going anywhere. It's going from bad to worse. So I just don't want to have to deal with this. And the outcome is the 3 of Wands, and this is wider pastures. Expansion. This is a card I've been getting over and over again. And maybe because it is a 3 universal year, that is a general theme, excuse me, for us all. And people are not satisfied with just that even like making a good living, that's not enough. They're looking at it from all angles and saying, I can't dread going into work every day. That's not acceptable to me. And the other thing with the 4 of Wands I wanted to state in the past position, you may have bought a new house thinking, hey, I got this new job, and now you're like, oh my God, I have this mortgage and I'm working in hell. How can I do this? And you're just scratching your head like you have no idea how you're going to do this. But you might be able to make it happen for a short amount of time at least, so that you can have a little bit of cushion, financial cushion, to be able to move on. And this could even apply for your love life. You might stay there a little bit longer for whatever reason. Perhaps you feel like you're going to give it one last chance. I don't know, but definitely with the Two of Swords, needing to make a decision. Okay, that's what I have for you. Virgo, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, please check me out at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. If you sign up for my newsletter, and it's just my mailing list, really. But sometimes I have special offers and, communications. You get 19% off your first reading. I'm trying to build a mailing list. I never really thought it was that big of a deal, but I feel like it's important now to have a way to stay in touch. If anything happens with YouTube or just the internet in general, but I mean especially with YouTube, because they're always changing things, and it's good to have contact with people outside. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. That's the way to look at it. So, okay, you guys, take care. Bye.